Welcome to Thoughtful Thursdays. If you listen to the last Thoughtful Thursdays, I was talking about how to build social connections, how to be creative. And the most important point was how to decide when we're going to be socializing and how we're going to be socializing. Honestly, I'm on the same trip today because I've been thinking about how I'm going to move out, how are we going to open up office, how are we going to meet our friends, or for that matter, how are we going to invite people home. And as I was thinking and conversing with people, I've realized that my own perceived risk of going out is going to actually color the way I'm going to orchestrate meeting people, inviting people home. And I want to say the math is not really adding up over here because all that I see is that people are really moving out without their masks, people are holidaying, people are going out, and that's why I said it's not all adding up because we have the virus in our midst. And as I was talking to Ashley Doctor, who's also runs a successful habit coach podcast, he said that today we're not living with the crisis. We need to be living alongside the crisis. And I'm going to repeat myself. We're talking about living alongside the crisis or the virus. And how is it that one needs to really prepare yourself or understand how we are really going to socialize and move out? Because ultimately we believe that we need to have social connections. We are human beings after all. And that's what I thought today is I'm going to present two scenarios to you because those are the two scenarios that I'm grappling with. The first scenario is imagine that a very close friend of yours invites you for dinner. And it's not only you, but he's invited 6 other people. And when I was listening to this example, I said, oh my God, now that means it's not only him whom I know and have been acquainted with. There are 6 other people that I have to now deal with. I'm not sure whether who they've come in touch with, are they as particular about things as I am? Should I go? Should I not go? And I think that is something we need to consciously keep in our mind. And I want to urge you to think about it. Are you going to go and say, okay, I'm going to see whatever happens. If the virus attacks me, I will worry about it later. Or you're going to say, decline that and say, okay, I'll join over a Zoom call, or not go at all. And while you're laughing and saying that Priya is overthinking things and she's being overcautious and the world is moving way faster than she thinks, I don't think so because these are the same thoughts that other people have. That's my first scenario and I want you to think about it. The second scenario is exactly the conversation that I was having with Ashton because we were talking about people are going out, people are going out for holidays. But the most important thing was, how are we going to invite people over home? And that's when he actually spoke to me about a podcast or an interview that he did with Dr. K.K. Agarwal, who's actually a Padma Shri, recipient of the Padma Shri. He's also a doctor who's spoken about science and Vedanta. And very, very early on in Jan, he spoke about how one looks at the virus, how one should approach the virus, and the preparedness of the mind. And I'm not going to steal the thunder from this interview that he had with Ashton, but when I listened to it, there was something that I wanted to take away, and this one point was, what will happen to face-to-face interactions? Remember when we're meeting people, I'm the one who loves a hi-fi, I love, I'm a big hugger, and suddenly you realize you can't do all of that. So he actually spells out what one should do when you invite somebody home and when you're having these face-to-face interactions. And I just talk about 2 things that I really like. He said, go back to the age-old wisdom. Actually, haath, pair, muh dhona. And these are things that we forget, but that's the first important thing. The second important thing is, how are we going to be sitting next to each other? You don't know this person. You don't know what is really transpired, and you want to treat the guest very well and with respect. And what I liked is he said that there are 2 things. Either you sit next to each other or give your guest the best position in the house, in the the seat, the highest seat, and you sit at a lower level. And when he's talking about that, the math started adding up. Because the only way this virus can spread is when two people are talking very close to each other. And if you don't want that to happen, and you still want to invite and socialize people, then you need to wrap your head around about how you're going to interact with the person, where are you going to sit, and how are you going to maintain the physical distance. That was one point. The second point that I really liked is, who is your advisory? Who is the person who is going to give you the correct knowledge to help you navigate and live alongside the virus? And that is why I would recommend that we watch Dr. K.K. Agarwal's video, because the correct information, the veracity of the information and the source of the information is equally important. And I'm suggesting this because both the scenarios that I mentioned are something that we are all going to be grappling with. We all need answers for it. And when you need answers, you need to go to the right source. And the most important message in that is, how can we prevent the virus? How can we make sure that we are using the barriers and staying safe, and at the same time maintaining our social connections, meeting the people whom we love, and navigating through this pandemic. If you like what I say and you want to know more, reach out to us, and I would like to hear your comments.